It's good to be back. Hello and welcome to the Tuesday edition of Journalist Hangouts. I'm Ayodele Uzubakun. Today on the Hangouts, Obaze reverses self, hails Obiano as APC accept outcome, death accusations of rigging trail Kwara local council election, and later on the program, Boko Haram behead 6 farmers in Borno State. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju, Olayinka Oyegbile, and Gani Kayode Balogun. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Glad to have you back. Now, the electorate in Anambra State have spoken. They decided that the incumbent governor, Willie Obiano, remains the best among the aspirants to lead the state for the next 4 years. When Obiano's victory was announced, some of his opponents raised their eyebrow, but it seems many of them are fast settling into reality. The All Progressive Congress and the People's Democratic Party have both accepted their defeat and congratulated Governor-elect Willie Obiano. What does this say about the political maturity of the gladiators in Anambra politics? Judy, this is quite novel. We have so many states that the same governorship election will hold. Whether you have grounds or not, people will still go to court. Yes. And for the APC, for the PDP, we still don't know clearly as of now, because I'll tell you that 1 week is not enough, but from their body language so far, they've considered victory. Yes. What does this say about the political maturity in Anambra State?
Yes, I want to see what will happen in the next few hours. I've seen this happen before, and after a few days, the same person who felt an election was free and fair, who thought he was well defeated, who went to, who met with the person who defeated him and admitted before
to be roundly beaten
that you beat me everywhere, you beat me in every local government. After pressure from supporters, the same man began to say, no, there was scientific rigging, it didn't happen, he didn't defeat me, and and they are talking about a recorded tape before the election, talking about a plan to rig. You are now using that as evidence of rigging on the day. Because that's what, even when the case got to court, that was what the judges said, that the recording is a plan to rig. It's not the same thing as actualization of rigging.
You have to get the evidence of rigging.
On the day, you can plan to rig and not be able to implement it. In fact, that's what happens most of the time. Not be able to implement it to the letter. That is what happens most of the time. Every politician creates allowance for rigging. We had when the former governor of Cross River said that there's always a budget for rigging. I said we are deceiving ourselves. And some of us will never deceive themselves. We rather say the way it is.
Budget for rigging.
Yes, there's always budget for rigging. Because if you fail to rig, your opponent who is minded to rig will defeat you. And when people say that you can only rig where you are popular, it's because they've not come to Nigeria, or they've not seen practical cases of people rigging and succeeding at it, even where they are not popular. You remember the case of the man who in River State. It was even the INEC chairman that told me this. Professor Yakub. This man put a gun to the neck of a returning officer and forced him to give him a certificate of return for an election that he did not win. And then that man, the returning officer just a fool. We have already front-loaded the result to the headquarters. Let him keep the fake certificate of return. But it was actually the returning officer who was mistaken, because this fellow went to court, and the court ruled that a certificate of return issued, only a court of law can take it back. Wow. So even that negates the bogus notion that you can only rig where you are popular. Me, I've seen where people won a rigged election where they were not popular. Because when you have superior firepower, you have money, you have soldiers, you have policemen, you have Ruku who will be printing for
Honestly,
you. Who will stop you? You will succeed.
After they get tired, they will even use palm kernel.
They will succeed, and that will be it. You go to court, by the time you get to court, you may not be able to overturn it. Most times, you won't be able to overturn. Now, going back to Obaze, Obaze complained that card readers malfunctioned on the day. So that was one of his grounds. But when card readers malfunction, it can be to your disadvantage and to the disadvantage of others. It's just like in a football match. You are saying that they added 6 extra minutes, 7 extra minutes. But the minutes added are available to the two teams playing against one another. So it's usually the stronger team that utilizes the added time.
Yes.
So both of you were unable to use card reader. You cannot say that on account of that means the election was rigged.
Yes.
Now, I want to see even the APC candidate, Tony Nwoye, on election day, was raising hell that the election was being rigged, this and that. It made so much noise about the election being rigged. I want to believe that some of their leaders or some of the supporters have appealed to them, let it go. In my view, Obiano won the election hands down. He got the nearest candidate to him. He got more than 3 times the number of the votes that the nearest candidate polled. Don't bother yourself. Don't waste your money on some sounds out there, because the people have spoken. It is the wish of the people that was manifested on the day. So let him not, after some time, change his mind and decide to go to court.
GKB, when you look at the pattern, because if Obiano is pulling over 200,000 votes and the second position is pulling 90,000 and the third position is pulling 70-something thousand. And you look at the balance of power, you look at even the godfathers, you look at those people that they have their stronghold. We have former governor, we have the PDP candidate. They couldn't even win their local government. At least 21 local government. At least the opponent can win 3 local government or 4 local government, and the governor will win his own struggle. But this one was a total routing.
The governor local government.
Don't forget that most of them are godfathers that were created by the media. They were not really on ground to showcase what they thought they had. And it's not the first time. I think this is what we call the Ondo principle, where you make sure your opponents were so roundly beaten that going to court will be a waste of time. And the way they do it is that you make sure that the one who is troublesome does not come second.
Yeah.
You give him a distant thought.
Yes.
The treatment has been meted on the Gigi
whatever you want to do.
The last election.
Yes.
So whatever you want to be troublesome, it will not be the beneficiary of that.
So it's the second place that should be fighting.
Do you understand? The second place that should be fighting is
not
90,000 votes. So how many local government will you claim?
So that's how it works. And of course, we all know that despite all the noise, Abga is still the party in power.
Yes.
And we said it in this program many times, that the incumbency factor plays a very big role. So when people say somebody has done well as an arbiter, I laugh. That's what he's supposed to do. That's his job. His job is to ensure there are things that are free and fair.
Yes.
That has nothing to do absolutely with anybody sitting in Abuja.
Some people are praising the president.
You have to be extremely careful.
That he did not get involved.
Imagine. And you keep telling us the reality.
I want to ask Jinka that, because before, when we're in Oka, a lot of people are saying, look, they're afraid. Even Obiano himself, he did not know what was going to happen. He was running around. I saw a thoroughly disturbed governor on the day that APC had their final rally. He came to the rally ground. You know, President Buhari came on helicopter. He came inside the venue directly. You know, as a governor, you are meant to come and receive the president and everything. But he used that opportunity to complain to Mr. President about the removal of his ADC. that particular day, because I was there when the DIG ops, when the president called for the DIG ops, and the president ordered immediately here and there during the rally. What I want to say is that as people were campaigning during APC rally, they were saying, APC, Willie must go. APC, Willie must go. But Rocha Sokorocha came out and he was saying that, look, Mr. President, help us use your magical wine to make sure APC wins this state. So a lot of people were under that impression that there might be this influence of federal might. It turned out that President Buhari decided to be neutral.
Now, some of us are not surprised at what happened. One, we have already known that even where the president himself was directly concerned, he made sure he gives a level playing field. And now, with the credibility he has had, and he has, I don't see him trying to make sure, or trying to interfere with what will happen on the ground. He already knows that, look, Anambra State is APGA. Like we were discussing before we got on air, it doesn't matter who was the governorship candidate of APGA. Even if you put an inanimate object as the governorship candidate of that party, it's going to win. Because it was already a clear case that, look, these people, this is the party they believe in. And I want to hope and believe that the APGA, what they have done there, they will also have the tenacity of former Governor Tinubu when he was the only AD candidate in the remaining in the Southwest.
2003.
And he worked to make sure that the party regained its strength. Obiano now has done a great deal for his people. People have been talking about it. And we, of course, we knew that that day that the president went there, no matter what, the governor would be shaken, that this might happen. And don't forget, also, in warm-up to the election, when he visited Aso Rock, there were reports that were saying that, oh, he went to Aso Rock to assure the president that, okay, let me just win, and after I win, I'm going to defect to APC and all that, and so on and so forth. But in the president, we have seen a man who knows that, look, let us allow the electorate to decide who they want. And that has happened. Yes. And I hope it will run throughout the election. Let us see. This might be, if this is the only gain that the administration of President Buhari will give our democracy, I think it is worth it. So that we begin to let the electorate matter, let the people speak what they say.
I hope it's not the only gain.
Now, well, Jide, okay, let's quickly take this breather, but let's just give you this breaking news that President of Zimbabwe, Robert Mugabe, has just resigned after 37 years. At last.
I hope it's not another.
Robert Mugabe has resigned. Yes. Thank you, and we hope that.
Thank you, Baba Mugabe.
37 years.
We'll take this breather, and when we come back, we'll talk more. It's still Journalist Hangout. We'll be right back. Please stay with us. It's the groundbreaking program of the year and Journalist Hangout. We're reaching you live from Television Continental here in our headquarters in Lagos, Nigeria. And we're still looking at how will I call it, the victory of Governor Willie Obiano in Anambra State. And now, Jide, I want you to explain, why did you think President Buhari did not get involved? As in trying to push route for his party. Yes, he campaigned for Tony Woya and everything. He was there, his presence and everything. But I'm sure he wouldn't have allowed them to cross.
In my view, even if some people told President Buhari, let us rig this election, he will have disagreed. One, President Buhari is extremely happy with governors who are paying salaries regularly. He has never hidden it. The governors that he has reported to traditional rulers are the ones who still can't pay salary despite his efforts, creating bailouts, you know, and all that. So when Obiano visited him, the president told him that I'm proud of you. He said he was proud of him because of his capacity to pay pensioners regularly and pay salaries. Not many governors can do that. So if there are, he knows that within his own party, Obiano is better than many governors within his own party. He knows that. That's a fact. So the president is someone who finds it difficult to pretend. That is one thing that I know about him. I say it when he publicly speaks his mind. I say, this man, that is the way he is. He was brought up that way. When the president appointed, the first set of appointments that he made, and so many of them were from the north, some people were defending him by saying, no, he chose merit, this and that. You know our people, they can defend the indefensible. The president came out by himself and said, no, I chose people that are known for years. I wasn't considering merit. So he's just a honest man. That's the way God created him. And that's why he's so popular with the masses. That's why they call him a Gaskia. Because why do they call him a Gaskia? Because they know that he stands on the side of the truth. When he went to campaign in Anambra, the president did not criticize the administration of Obiano.
At all.
He didn't.
He barely spoke for 10 minutes.
He just expressed the confidence that his party will win, and that was all. Because he also didn't want to offend the sensibilities of the people there. He's trying to worm his way into the hearts of people of the Southeast. So to go to that place and use federal might to unseat a governor that is paying salaries when some of the governors in his own party cannot pay salaries, to go there, to go and ensure that the will of the people did not prevail, will work against his intention of getting the people of the Southeast to see him that he is the father of all. So the president couldn't have done otherwise. The Kogi governor was one of the cheerleaders for the
rally. He followed Mr. President.
It was strange to us that a governor who cannot pay salaries, a governor in whose state civil servants are reported to be committing suicide because some of them are old for up to 21 months, has gone to campaign in a state of a governor that pays salaries regularly.
What's a big irony?
I don't know. As we speak, there is no recorded inauguration of a road contract in Kogi State. As we speak, yes. But we know that Obiano 180 different projects.
Yeah.
So, you see, the thing is, for democracy to thrive in our land, people, the votes of the people must count. And that's what makes me happy about the Anambra election, that the people spoke and their votes count. Whether money bags like Obaze and the rest of them were defeated or not.
Let's look at the big losers in this process. GKB.
Well, the biggest loser, of course, is APC, because it's supposed to be the foothold into the Southeast towards 2019. And it's supposed to be the
Okorocha is already there.
Yeah,
Okorocha, I need a brother. Give me a brother. I'm an man.
And of course, the next one.
I'm feeling lonely.
The next one, of course, is the PDP, because this is supposed to be their comeback election to show how serious they are, how they are going to become a force again against 2019. And of course, the biggest loser of them all is Mr. Jump About himself, the man with the female voice. Peter Obi, who, like we say in Ibadan, just realized that a monkey can only show skills if trees are near each other. He was simply thrown onto the wilderness to show his skill, and he failed. Those to you that is the system, is the structure, not the man, that makes the difference.
GKB, the big losers.
Well, I don't think I have any different opinion from what he said. But for me, I think the greatest loser is Obi. Now, I don't know what the problem is with the Southeast. Why is it that every governor that plays a godfather must fall out with his godson?
That's a Nigerian problem.
We saw it, with due respect, I must say it's much more common in the Southeast than anywhere. If you look at all the South, it happened in Abia. It happened in Enugu. It happened in Anambra. So, I mean, why is it? What exactly is wrong?
Okay, let me quickly take my first caller. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening, Abubakar.
Well done, Mr. GD and others.
Thank you so much.
All right. Let me contribute about the successful election of Anambra. It's not a matter of party affair, but a matter of individual. Obiano performed. People are trailing, are judging a governor by his performance. In fact, there is no, it's not an issue of ABGA, it's an issue of individual. Any individual that can perform, people will be with him. The unproductive governors mostly are in the APC. So it's not a matter of the president visiting Anambra that will make his party win.
Thank you, Abubakar. Abubakar, I think I will disagree with Abubakar because the two factors came into play. That Abga factor is a very strong, very strong factor.
That is the that's Ojukwu state.
Yes,
and Ojukwu said repeatedly to them that this is my party. I'm handing this party over to you people. So many people there still see.
That's why all the posters.
The image of Ojukwu.
Yes, all their posters. Abga's posters was carrying Ojukwu's picture.
And that's his home state. That's his home state. So it will amount to humiliating him, you know, by allowing a party that he created.
That would have been the end of Abga.
To be defeated there. Yes, so the people saw all that. The people saw that beyond the fact that
Willie Obiano
performed. Yes, beyond it performed, of course, with the fantastic foundation that will be laid for him. No doubt about it. It would be dishonest for anyone to come out and say, no, Obi didn't do so much. I've seen this governor try to say that Obi didn't really leave so much money. That would be dishonest. Yeah. Obi succeeded. The template of paying salaries, paying pensioners, you know, at the right time was what Obi left on the ground. And when people say, oh, what is the big deal in paying salaries? They should go and ask governors who have lost election for not paying salary. Yeah. They should ask Suswam in Benue State. Yeah. He even wanted to contest as contestant. They didn't allow him to win. Yes. They didn't allow him to they didn't even allow his own boy that he brought to win. Yeah. So, and his party lost the election on account of not paying salary for so many months, and some teachers were even committing suicide. Yeah. You know, so that is the thing. It's not supposed to be a big deal, but in our kind of environment, yes, whether we like it or not, it's a big deal.
Currently, it's a big deal in Nigeria.
The best way you can build all the roads in the world, when you are unable to pay public servants, they will humiliate you. Yeah. They will be saying it all over the place that you cannot pay public servants. And people out there will see you as someone who is incapable. So that is the thing. The man did that, and he also performed. He made sure that he solved the problem of insecurity in that state. Of course, Obi also started that. The idea of demolishing the homes of kidnappers borrowed from Israel. It was Obi that started it. So it laid a good foundation for this man. Now they're falling apart, which is a trend now in our politics. You help someone to get to office. After a few months in office, you people fall apart. In the north, it happened. Goje was talking about Dankwabo the other day. You know, even in Kwara, I talked about 1983. Adamuata
and
Saraki. Again, in 1999, Saraki supported Mohamed Lawal. They fell out before the 2003 election. So these things happen. People want to be...
It's happening in Kano now.
It's happening in Kano. The only person that Kwankwaso was the only governor who allowed his deputy to succeed him. Yet they fell apart. You see, people want to be their own men. They don't want people who have spent their own time as governors to be dictating to them how to run their state and all that, because there are governors today that I know who were assisted to become governor. They are finding life miserable under the greed of their godfathers. Yeah. Just that some of them choose not to talk. One of those governors is in the Northwest. So it will continue. But I don't think that it makes sense. That's why I agree with you that Obi is the biggest loser. If you were wrong in your choice of your successor, if your successor betrayed you, the same mouth that you used to campaign for him, to tell us that is the best things in sliced bread, you can't come out now and begin to say, no, this person is bad, that is a piece of garbage and all that. Yeah, whereas when you were campaigning for him, you were venerating him. I don't think that is selfish. I don't think it makes sense to do that. You should just have let it go. Yeah. You should just have let it go, not go back and be campaigning.
There was one Catholic priest that even tried to mediate, and Obi said, no, they will reject Obiano at the poll. That is the verdict now.
He has
well,
that.
The people have spoken. And,
it's the people who can reject, and the people who can reject have decided not to reject.
The man will eat the humble pie now, and
he's eating it in one little corner.
Our brother Obaze with all the billions couldn't save the day.
Wow. No, those are expired.
Everybody lost. Now. I think I even wrote Peter Obi lost in Anambra local government. Obaze himself lost in his Ogbaru local government. Nwoye lost in his Anambra East local government.
All of them
Atoeze lost in his Dunukofa local government. So all the big people fell.
They fell. Well, we wish Governor Willie Obiano the best of luck in the second term.
He should be magnanimous in victory.
Yeah. Coming up on Journalist Hangouts, council election in Kwara State, allegedly trails of blood, corruption, and deaths. Shortly, we'll be right back after this time out. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Now, last Saturday, the All Progressive Congress swept the council elections in Kwara State. It was a smooth cleansing, as usual. It swept all the 16 chairmanship seats in the states. The Commissioner of Police in Kwara State, Lawan Ado, says the election was satisfactorily conducted. But the opposition, People's Democratic Party, disagrees. It accuses the APC of massive rigging and other electoral fraud. Reports say 24 hours to the election, 4 persons were shot dead and 6 others injured in Edu local government area, and a part of Senator Muhammad Shaba's house was razed. Why will a council election, just ordinary local government election, turn this way, Babajide? It's worrisome because it's a practice, stock in trade, anywhere you want to call it, from Lagos to any states. Anytime there's local government election, that is why most people, they've called for the scrapping of the State Independent Electoral Commission. That it's just, it's just a waste of time. So the same thing that happened in Lagos and every other state is happening in Kwara State. So we can't blame Kwara.
Yeah, the Nigerian governors are of the same stock. So, and everybody wants power. It's going to be difficult for any governor to not want to interfere in what SIEC does. First and foremost, the person who heads SIEC is usually the appointee of the governor, Direct. So you don't expect them to not do the bidding of governors. The way governors have abused the opportunity to organize council elections is what has led me to believe that even if they give governor state police, it's the same way that they will abuse state police and use it against political opponents. I'm not saying that that's exactly what has happened in Kwara, but the death of those guys, what the story that we had was that Shaba wanted to drive on a culvert, and the culvert had been in the bad state for so long, And the people were like, look, what have you done for this constituency? What have you done? You've seen this coverage in this state, you've not made any effort. We as youth, we try our best to try and make things better. So they stopped him, they said they would not allow him to pass through that place. The next thing, they went and brought soldiers. Wow. And those soldiers opened fire on the youths and killed 4 of those youths. Wow. I think we have pictures of those guys. They killed 4 of them. So in anger, they set the house ablaze, and these are videos of
the state independent electoral.
Yes, some people here were seen destroying ballot papers and all that. You know, there are so many videos online in respect of the conduct of this last election. See him tearing ballot papers.
Why?
Maybe as part of ensuring that the process is compromised. So Shaba, what happened, Shaba brought it on himself. Ideally, if those guys blocked him, he should have reached out to them. Yeah. Invariably, they will let you pass. But to go and bring soldiers to kill people, and at the end of the day, you lost your house because 2 sets of boys set his house ablaze. As for the conduct of the Kwara election, I've read all kinds of things. I know that election rigging is very common in Kwara because I've witnessed election rigging right from my days as a little boy. Blatant election rigging in Kwara, I've seen it. The culture of election rigging remains in Kwara, no doubt about it, except we want to deceive ourselves. I know that it's not peculiar to Kwara, but that culture still reigns. So if people are, the APC guys are saying no ballot was snatched, no ballot box was snatched everywhere. You know, this particular result sheet is out there, indicating that some APC bigwigs like Saraki lost in their wards. You know, but they are saying that is not what eventually happened at the end of the day. Of course, is a Kwasiek that will come up with the final results. So that's why, but they are pushing out all kinds of documents there to show that, look, the PDP had a good outing. In this particular one, it was like 100 and something to 30 votes. I know that
against the APC.
Yes, in Saraki's ward, Ajikobi ward. So this is local government elections. You don't expect it to be
anything else.
GKB, can we ever get it right when it comes to this local government thing? Because it's becoming worrisome. After some time, I don't think people will not take this election serious again. Yeah, it's becoming a huge joke.
Do you know anybody who do take them serious right now? Local government elections are just a charade, basically to fulfill our righteousness. We all know what's going to happen. We even know in some states, governors are so interested that they insist that even councillors must come from their camp. Even supervisory councillors and SLGs must come from them. That's basically to protect themselves against what these people can do.
To control the grassroots.
Whenever it comes to elections, especially at the party level. Nobody takes local government administration serious in Nigeria anymore. Since that day, Obaze decided that the local government chairman will earn more money than the professor. It becomes a free-for-all. And governors have realized that unless and until you are holding seriously to the reins of power at the local level, you are in danger of not getting a second term. And then after this set of governors, the next set of governors will do the same. And the next set will do the same. And the cycle continues.
But you see, it's very unfortunate. The local government election should be what will concern each and every one of us. Because the local government chairman or the councillor that represents my ward should be my first point of contact.
Yes.
I mean, the road that passed through my street, if I live in Lagos, if the road is bad, I should not call on the governor. It should be the local government chairman. But unfortunately, because the local government system has been bastardized, every road must be, we must talk about the governor. Issue as bare as disposal of refuse. We have Loma. What is the business of Loma with disposal of refuse? when you look at fire service duties, they are all done in every same country by local governments. So why should the state government concern itself with that?
But remember that in those same environments, TV licenses are collected by the councils.
So why are we not doing that? Yeah.
Because the state is interested.
So you see,
Those are interested
they've encroached on
the money.
Those are the
areas through which they can make money.
Those are the basic things we need to address.
Yinka.
Yes.
All over the world, it's very rare for the mayor of a major city to be of the same party with the governor.
Yeah.
Because the rural people usually will vote one party. The urban people will vote other party. When was the last time, apart from the man in Advocate, when was the last time you see a local government chairman so independent that can confront his governor? Doesn't happen. So when you give examples,
He will suspend you.
So those are the basic things that we need to take care of. Why should a local government election, why should it lead into so much violence? Because we know each other. In the world, you know this man, you know that woman, you know every one of yourselves. So it shouldn't be what will lead to violence. Even if it leads to violence, that at that point, it should be at a point where they will be able to pinpoint that, okay, Olayinka, son of so and so, is the one who caused the problem. And everybody, yes, he's the one. But in this situation now, it is a free-for-all. Why should we allow that to happen? Unless we begin to take seriously the local government the way it should be and not the way they are taking it now. Because as Jide said, you know the thing that caused that fracas, those young men said they have appealed to this man several times to come and assist in building the culvert. But the man sat down in Abuja without answering them, and election came. That was when he remembered he had a home. So they said, no, you are not going to pass through this culvert that we used our hard-earned money. You have so much money, a culvert that should not have cost more than how much. You should have done that for them. Even when they were preparing for election, you should have used that.
Let me quickly pick this call from Oloide. Oloide is calling us from Osun. Thank you for joining us.
Oyo.
Okay, from Oyo State. Thank you for joining us, Oloide.
Okay.
I
I want to say one or two things concerning the election of Anambra and that of Kwara State. And I do watch your program all over and over. And before today, my brother, Babajide, has said it, that where any governor that do pay the salary, do what people want, will secure for the return. As he says, it's not like it's slightly predicted. Now, I'm not surprised that the Ukwe governor won. If all other governments can implement or follow this idea, who have problems? Concerning the Kwara State issue, I don't know how we are going to solve the Kwara State issue. I do tell some people that from Kwara, why should we continue targeting the same people all over and all over? There won't be any development. And before now, I'm living in
Thank you. Thank you, Loide. Now, the bottom line is that even President Buhari, at a point in time, voiced his concern about support for local government autonomy, wanting these people to start, but it's as if the governors can never see that happening.
No, they will not give up their hold on local governments. And
they want to be saved from federal government might.
One of the aberrations of our federal system is this idea of sending local government funds, putting local government funds and states together. And then you call it JAC, Joint Action Committee or something. So governors use their discretion to share this money.
I see they are doing the local
Many
government
governors do that, only a few. I remember when the Senate committee went to Bayelsa, they even praised him that he doesn't tamper with local government funds. Governors tampering with local government funds is extremely common. Yeah. So they imagine a Senate committee going to praise Dixon because in his own case, he releases the money to them. I think also
Nasir
Erufat, because when he came in, he said, oh, that we'll give them autonomy and all that. And so we need to take governance at the local level seriously. And elections, whether at local government level or not, should not lead to violence of any kind. So that is, I'm happy that people came out in Kwara to vote in this election, apart from Baruten, where even the emir there said the people didn't come out because money was not shared. Generally, the turnout in the local government election in Kwara was high. And that is what we want to continue to see. But we will want the electoral system cleaned up such that at all times, it is the choice of the people that emerges.
All right, moving on now. Last Sunday, Ivo visited Mafa local government area in Borno State. 7 farmers who probably woke up that morning with high hopes of making a living were abducted by Boko Haram insurgents, and 6 of them were beheaded. As Borno State mourns, the wave of terror hit Adamawa State. Earlier today, a suicide bomber detonated explosives in a mosque in Mobile, and more than 50 people perished in that attack. What is going on here? Gentlemen, GKB.
We've been down this route before, and it's really becoming something else. On this program alone, more than 50 times, if I'm correct, we've spoken about Boko Haram and the consequence of the war on those people who are right inside the theater of war. And we cannot say it enough that failure of intelligence is key to why these people are still doing the stuff they are doing. Because normally, in most other countries that are fighting this kind of a war, there will be attempts to ensure that some of these things did not get to fruition. We should just hear that they've been caught on the eve of denoting the bomb, or that they've been stopped a few meters away because they got intelligence. Yeah, we've been at this war now for close to a decade, and we still look at them as a war with ruffians, and we still treat them as a danger limited to a particular part of the country. If this should continue, I'm afraid there may be the spark needed to destroy this country as a nation.
God forbid. Yinka, quickly, when you look at this wave of attack, especially on innocent people, I don't know how you can identify a suicide bomber. I don't know, maybe our military, they train them. I don't know.
Different way.
No, what is happening now is that what they have called, they see them as soft targets. That's where they are going now. And it is very, very difficult. And don't also forget that there is also that culture that the manner of dressing is easy for bombers to conceal bomb IED on their bodies. For instance, if it's a lady that is carrying the IED,
When hijab.
we wear hijab, a man cannot frisk her. So those are the issues, those are the things that are giving them the opportunities and the chance to hit at this soft target. And it's very unfortunate. It is people, if the Boko Haram people are talking about religion, and if you go to the extent, people going to the mosque, so what is the message you are preaching? I mean, it doesn't make sense. As we have always been saying on this panel, the thing is, it has gone so bad that one is even short of words. You find it a bit absurd to talk about. You know, before, this one will be a lead in a newspaper. But now, 50 is no longer...
That has become cheap.
Exactly.
Every day.
Why? Why?
That we are losing people every day.
I mean, it's saddening. We thought, as of now, we have got over this, that they have been technically defeated, but
we never
they are, it's like a ram that walks back. It has gone to gather strength. That is what seems to be happening.
What would be the message in beheading people again? Because I don't get.
No,
I don't get.
You see, Boko Haram wants to send that message across that, look, we've not been defeated. That you can't defeat us, as you are saying. Because if you claim that you've defeated us, then how come people can't travel freely? People can't go to certain locations in Borno State especially. How come in Madagali area of Adamawa State, bombings are regular, attack of villages in that area, Sabongeri and the rest of them are common? So this, what they are trying to say is, look, we are still here, perhaps to get the message across to their sponsors that, look, we are still inflicting pains on these people. And if you look at the last 3 weeks now, these bombings have been consistent. Consistent. Sometimes they succeed, kill like 16 people. Like this, sometimes they don't succeed. Like, I think day before yesterday, they opened fire on, the bombers themselves died. Yeah. The attempt to bomb. Sometimes soldiers will spot them from a distance and open fire on them.
Do you spot them?
No, if that person is moving in a manner that is suspicious, you are trying to run towards soldiers at a checkpoint, it is clear that you want to kill those soldiers. Somebody will gun you down. You know, look at the one that killed people at that motor park, you know, Mona motor park in Maiduguri. It drew the attention of people. He screamed, he drew the attention of people like someone in distress. So when people rushed to him, he let off the explosives and killed so many people. Now, this is the hometown of the governor of Adamawa State. It's the hometown, Mubi. It's the hometown. Remember, Boko Haram captured Mubi, despite the fact that we had 2 military bases in Mubi at that time. They captured Mubi, but we retook Mubi before the elections. You know, as I always say, nearly all those towns were, if not all, were recaptured by the Nigerian troops before the elections. But now, Boko Haram is expanding its reign of terror again. We know that Sambisa, they are in Sambisa, no doubt about it. Any community close to Sambisa is not safe. It's not safe. Communities like Dambua, that is why that highway, Dambua Biu highway, is not safe. It's not safe. There are many places today, as we speak, that you cannot travel to in Borno State unless under heavy military escort. That sends a clear signal that it is not yet Uhuru. And these boys are not resting. Sometimes they go and hang on treetops. When they see people going, they open fire. They just want to kill people. Look at what happened in Baga back then. 30 fishermen. They abducted those 30 fishermen because the waters were, they thought the waters were not safe. So for a long time, they didn't allow fishing. Then when the army felt, okay, this place is safe now, people began to fish. And then they captured 30 of them, beheaded them. They left one person and told that one person to take the canoe to their hometown to tell them that we are here, you can go and call your soldiers. It's exactly what happened in this Mafa village too. After those 6 people that they beheaded, they didn't behead an elderly man. They told that elderly man to go and raise the alarm that we have come, that we were the ones who slaughtered these old people. So the insecurity is there for everyone to see. And we do not, if you go to any community now, you know, people will be asking for more soldiers. People in Madagali, they're asking for more soldiers. They'll be asking for more soldiers because how many soldiers are we going to pour onto the towns and villages in Borno State and Adamawa State?
And the landmass.
You know, that will keep our people safe. The local government capital will be safe, militarized, but some small villages around it will not be protected. And these guys will now come to kill people in those places. So it's a terrible thing.
GKB, when you look at the trend of this thing, and I was thinking about it when I saw this news again. Can they find lasting peace in this area? And I just want to put myself in their position.
How was ISIS defeated? At least.
Has it been defeated?
Minimized in its act of potency. is very straightforward. When you take a territory, don't allow the territory to be taken back. Yeah. But what we do is, all of us, Nigerians as a whole, is that they will take a territory, set up 1 or 2 checkpoints, and then go to sleep.
Say the war has ended.
But the war is not over.
Roll out the drums.
Because sometimes it takes about a year, 2 years to clean out the entire area of areas of potency. It is that they have to do. But like I said before, the problem we have is not that of courage of our soldiers, who are some of the best in the world. It's essentially a lack of follow-up on things that we achieved before. Because if you said the war is over, there are parameters that you can use. And one of them is what we are seeing now. They cannot be this potent after the war is technically won. This should happen maybe once or twice a year, but it's happening every other day. That means we are still smack in the middle of the war. I don't have the answers, but I still think those who have the job to think this through must do something fast.
What must the federal government do now to just at least save these people?
There must be more security and more deployment of intelligence rather than, when we talk of security, it's not to only just put soldiers everywhere. Intelligence is very, very key. And our intelligence unit, either in the army, in the police, in SSS, and everyone, they must be top grade. There must be continuous education for them so that they will be able to think ahead. Because if you want to catch a thief, you must have triple sense. You must be ahead of the killer. So those are the things that are important.
Finally, you spoke about intelligence, and I looked at since 2009. Is it that we've not been able to infiltrate these people, to plant our people there and be able to get their mode of operations?
The DSS, Boko Haram wanted to bomb some recruits at the NDA. And the DSS got wind. It will have been catastrophic. It will have been catastrophic. Recruits, because ISIS does that a lot, they target recruits. Recruits do not have all the mental awareness that other soldiers have, So they usually target them. They are easy pickings for ISIS. So Boko Haram wanted to storm Nigerian Defense Academy to kill recruits. But as they were planning it, they were caught. The DSS got wind of it and rounded them up. So occasionally, those things happen. What we can say is, they stop these people in their tracks. But it must happen consistently. And it has to be across board in the whole of the Northeast. Don't give the impression, don't deceive yourself that the war has been won. It has not been won. No. The facts show clearly that it has not been won. So deploy intelligence in Adamawa, deploy intelligence in Yobe. Because we always say, oh, Yobe, they've won the war, but they went there to kill about 18 soldiers a few weeks back. So deploy intelligence everywhere. Let's have intelligence cover for the whole of the theater of war, so that at least our people can live in peace. It's about time that this war ended. It's terrible to be hearing of killings almost every day.
So terrible. I want to thank you, Olayinka Oyegbile. Thank you for coming. GKB, thank you and happy holidays. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. And Babajide Kolade Otitoju, thank you for always being here with us. And that's it on Journalist Hangout.
Welcome back.
Yeah, join us tomorrow for another interesting episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11 on DSTV 418, GoTV 45, and as displayed. You can also watch Journalist Hangouts on all our platforms showing on the screen and on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel is Journalist Hangout at tvcnews.tv. I'm Ayodele Ozubapo. Bye for now. God bless Nigeria.